Hey everyone. So you're eyeing the Himachal Pradesh Administrative Services? Fantastic. But let's be real. You can't just wing it. You need a solid plan, a roadmap. And that's exactly what we're going to lay out for you today. Your personal guide to cracking the HPS 2026 exam. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the big number, 1,050. This is it. This is the goal, the final score that everything else builds towards. It's what will define your rank, so burn this number into your brain. So, how do you get to that 1050? Well, it's not a single sprint. It's more like a 3-stage quest. We're going to break down each and every stage so you know exactly what's coming and how to prepare for it. All right, let's start at the beginning. Stage 1, the prelims. Now, here's the most important thing you need to get about this stage. It's not about topping the charts. Think of it as a gatekeeper. Your one and only job here is to get past it and move on to the main event. So, the prelims are broken down into 2 papers, right? But here's the catch. They have completely different jobs. You've got paper 1, general studies. That's the one that determines if you make the cut. Then you have paper 2, the aptitude test, and you got to treat them very, very differently. Here's the bottom line. Paper 1 is where you compete. That's the one that gets you screened in. Paper 2, it's just a hurdle you have to jump. It's pass or fail. That's it. Your goal is simply to clear it. And just how high is that hurdle? 33%. That's the magic number. You just need to hit 33% on that aptitude test. Once you do that, then they'll look at your general studies paper. It's a simple but absolutely critical rule. Okay, a few quick facts about the prelims you need to know. Both papers are multiple choice, and you get 2 hours for each. And yes, there's negative marking, so you've got to be careful. But here's the real kicker. Once you're past this stage, your prelim score is wiped clean. It has absolutely 0 effect on your final rank. So you've made it through the gate. Awesome. Now you're in stage 2, the mains. And let me tell you, this is the main arena. This is where the real battle begins and where you start building that final score. Now, when you first look at the mains, 9 papers can seem, well, like a lot. But it's actually pretty simple. Just think of it in 2 categories. You've got 2 language papers that are just for qualifying. You just have to pass them. Then you have the 6 merit-based papers. These are the ones that count. They add up to 900 marks and form the core of your final score. And I gotta stress this, before your merit papers even get looked at, you have to get past these 2 language papers, English and Hindi. They test your basic skills. And even though they don't add points to your total, they can absolutely end your run right here if you're not careful. So what's the passing grade? 40%. And that's not 40% on average. It's 40% in both the English and the Hindi paper. Miss that mark in either one and it's game over for this attempt. Seriously, it's a non-negotiable step. Okay, now for the papers that actually build your score. We've got 3 general studies papers. First up is GS1, worth 200 marks. This one covers a huge range, history, culture, geography, but the key thing is it always connects back to Himachal Pradesh. Then we have GS paper 2, another 200 marker. This one is all about how the country runs. We're talking the constitution, how the government works, administration, and even India's role in the world. And the third big general studies paper is GS3. This is where you dive into the economy, science and tech, the environment, agriculture, all the big modern topics. And again, you've got to understand how these apply specifically to Himachal. Okay, so you've got the 3 GS papers. What else? Well, to round out the written part, you've got a 100-mark essay and 2 papers on an optional subject that you get to choose. Each of those is worth 100 marks too. So all that together gets you to that big 900-mark total for the written exam. Phew! After you've poured everything into those written exams, you reach the final stage, the last climb. This is the interview, or as they call it, the viva voce. It's the final summit, where they finally meet the person behind all those answers. So what are they even looking for in the interview? Look, it's not another knowledge test. They've seen your mains papers, they know you know your stuff. This is all about assessing your personal suitability. Are you the right fit for this job? So what does suitability really mean? It's not some vague idea. They're looking for specific qualities. Things like, are you mentally alert? Can you express yourself clearly and logically? Do you have good judgment? Do you have leadership potential? And most importantly, do you have intellectual and moral integrity? And all of that is worth a total of 150 marks. This is the last chunk of points you can earn, and trust me, these 150 marks can make a massive difference in your final ranking. Okay, so you've passed the prelims, you've battled through the mains, and you've faced the interview panel. How does it all come together? How do they calculate your final merit? It's actually a really simple formula. It's super straightforward. First, you take your total from those 6 merit-based mains papers. That's out of 900. Then you add your interview score, which is out of 150. And voila, that gives you your final score out of, you guessed it, that 1050 we talked about right at the start. So, if you take away one thing, let it be this. The prelims are just the entry ticket. Your real destiny, your final rank, the service you get, all of that comes down to your combined score in the mains and the interview. That's what really counts. And there you have it. We've laid out the entire map, from stage 1 all the way to the final score. You know the rules, you know the stages, you know how it all adds up. You've officially got the roadmap. So the only question now is, are you ready to start the journey?